Get in here. Come on. Get in here. It's Monday night. Strengthen your souls back on. We're on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And I know, for some of you, like me, you've been going through withdrawal. Hey, it's good to be with you as always. The schedule is up here. 8 o'clock we open up. 8:01 we're going to take a drink. And actually we're going to start bumping up a little earlier. So I want you to get ready more quickly, more often, so that we can do more things and then at 8:15 like we always do. If you're new to Strengthen Your Soul, the purpose of it is to help people in this season to figure out how do you have the most healthy soul possible. So grab a drink. Tonight I'm having cucumber water. You can never have too much water. You can never have too many cucumbers. And when you put them together, it's just a thing of beauty. So I'm having cucumber water, antioxidants for this strange season we're in. So grab a drink, get in here, and we'll take together in about 10 seconds. We'll have a sip together. Tonight, we're talking about this question, just what is the soul? Somebody actually messaged in, and others of you have messaged in potential topics. Please keep doing that. It's super helpful. But a few weeks ago, somebody asked, what's the soul? And so over the weekend, I did some research, I did some digging, did some collating. And tonight we're going to look at some of the ancient thoughts of the soul. We're going to look at modern psychology of the soul. And then we're going to look at the teachings of Jesus on the soul. And then we're going to head to a time where we ask Jesus, God, the universe, whatever is most comfortable for you, where your soul needs greater strengthening and what's your next step towards it. So with that being said, hope you got a drink. Let's take together. Let's talk about your soul. So as we look at this, we're going to start off. It's going to be a bit more teaching oriented because we got work to do. So let's look at the first couple of concepts of the soul. First, we'll start with Plato, who was a Greek philosopher, and Platonic philosophy has thought a lot of the ways we think about life. And he said the soul had three parts, three aspects. There was the logos, the thymos, and eros. Sorry for my writing in advance. I'm enjoying sitting right now. So there was the logos, which is the rational, thoughtful part. It was associated with the mind, the thinking aspects of humanity. And the thymos was thought to be about your vigor. Eros was about your desire. The thymos actually was also thought to be with your emotion. It was thought to be sort of in your chest region. And it was thought to be the masculine energy of a human being. So not a male-female thing, but the masculine side of energy. And the eros was sort of the feminine side. So it was about your desire, about your appetites, things you longed for. And Plato said these three made up the soul. A little bit of a caveat too. I'll tell you a story that has nothing to do with Plato, but hopefully helps demonstrate what everyone agrees on the soul. A couple of years ago, I had to do something that was quite painful. It was not a fun day. Let me tell you about it. When I grew up, I had two cats growing up. We were a cat family. Some of you hate cats. Some of you, though, you love cats. We had cats. I liked cats. And so when our oldest cat got sick and it was time to put her down, I had to go there to help do that. And it was weird. Her name was Misha. It was this beautiful cat. It had three different colors. It had black, white, and orange. Just a beautiful, majestic animal. Loved this cat. And she was kind of mean growing up, but I liked her anyways. She loved my sister, me not so much. But I remember I was holding her and they put a needle in her. And what was amazing is what can change in 5 seconds. So 5 seconds before I was holding my cat, Misha. And 5 seconds later, my cat, Misha, was gone. Like the body was still there. But in those 5 seconds, when she passed, something left her. She was gone. And so the soul, everybody agrees on this issue, the soul is the immaterial part of a creature, a human in particular. It's the personality, the emotion, the character, the beliefs, all this stuff rammed together. That's the immaterial, it's the non-body part of you. Everybody agrees on that. Everyone agrees on that. So when we talk about the soul, Plato said the soul was this combination of the logos, the thymos, the eros, and he said it was this part of you that couldn't be destroyed. That was Plato's view. This is helpful because what we see is this. There is a thinking and rationality that is part of human existence that describes the part of us that's not our body. It's thinking, it's emotive, it has longings and passion. That's one of the helpful pictures. Then building on that, you had Aristotle. So you're going to get some psychology, theology, and philosophy 101 here tonight. A bit of a combo of both. Then you had Aristotle. And he said there was 3 types of souls. So he said there was the vegetative, the sensitive, and then there was the rational soul. All of these are souls. So he would say this is like plant life. This he would say would be animal life. That is, animals interact with their environment. They sense and they move, and vegetative souls, they just receive. They take in, like a plant does. And then he said the rational soul was the human soul. Again, this is helpful because part of what differentiates human beings, and again, virtually everyone agrees on this, from animals and plants, has to do with our ability to conceptualize, to think, to reason, to work things through in our mind. So that's 3 views of the soul, 3 types of souls from Aristotle. We'll move on now. We'll fast forward a couple thousand of years, and we'll look at 2 famous psychologists, perhaps the 2 most famous or influential in our day. The first one is this Sigmund Freud, who was known for talking about the thing that people like to talk about most. And if you don't know, you should know. And so Freud, he talked a lot about sex, but he also talked about the soul or the psyche. The Greek word psyche is what we've translated now into the English word soul. So just to make you aware of that. So Freud, when he talked about the psyche or the soul, he said there was 3 aspects. There was the id, the ego, and the superego. So the id is sort of your instinctive desire. Now again, some of you are going to try and correct me and go, Kyle, you weren't as in depth or your nuance was wrong here. And please hear me, I'm just trying to get us the lay of the land for what the soul truly is. So he talked about instinctive desires, and then he said the superego is sort of the cultural shaping around you. So this would be the voices in your head that come from your teachers or your friends or your parents or your religious or non-religious upbringing. It's sort of all of the societal pressures around you. And it's and it has a conscience and social norms and morality. Those are all sort of ingrained and taught to you. So this is unconscious largely, and this is conscious. And then he said the ego is actually the integration or synthesis or negotiation of these 2 parts of your, I'm going to go into our schedule tonight, but that's okay, of your id and your superego. And when these 2 are at odds, you develop what he called neurosis. What is helpful about this? Why am I telling you this? That's a great question. The reason this is important is Freud was onto something about the soul. See, the teachings of Jesus said this: if you want to have a healthy soul, there must be an integration of conscience that comes from the sources around you and your own behavior and desires. Now, Jesus went further and he said, it's not about your family. It's not about your nationality. It's not about your religious upbringing. What you need more than anything else is to actually integrate your desires with the desires of the Father of your soul, the desires of God or of life itself. That was Jesus' teaching. If you want to have a healthy soul, you must integrate your behaviors and your desires with the very Father of your soul, with Jesus himself. Again, some of you might go, Well, I'm not sure I can buy into that yet. That's okay. You can use the term God or the universe if that's helpful to you. So that's Freud. And finally, we'll get rid of this. We'll look at one last philosopher, then we'll jump into the teachings of Jesus, and then we'll head to our activity for today. The last one was this, Carl Jung. Last one we'll look at. And Carl Jung said that there was a difference between the psyche and the soul. So for Jung, the psyche consists of all thought, conscious and unconscious. All thought, conscious and unconscious. And then when he talked about the soul, he said, you could almost describe, it's the summation of who you are. Almost to the point where you could call it your personality. Now, if you've ever seen anyone pass away, and I was there very shortly after the death of my father-in-law, you can look at the body and go, all thinking stopped, yes, but the personality is the thing you mourn. Sometimes we see people who have tragedy in their mind, and their personality changes entirely. And it's like the person themselves is gone. Their soul is gone, almost. So this was Jung's contribution, is this: there's something about your very personhood that matters to your soul. Okay, now let's look at the teachings of Jesus. And again, we might run a touch long tonight, just a heads up. We might be 3 or 4 minutes longer because we've got a lot of content to cover. And again, thank you for this question. Fascinating stuff. So according to the teachings of Jesus in the Bible, a human being is made up of either 2 or 3 parts. 2 or 3 parts. You have your body, you have a soul, and you have a spirit. Now, there's the dichotomist, 2, or trichotomist positions. So every person who's read the teachings of Jesus agrees on this, that Jesus separated body from your soul and your spirit, which we get. So it's good to strengthen your body, it's good to work out, it's good to get good rest, and it affects your personality. These are all an integrated whole. It's an integrated whole, and I'm going to have to erase that now that I've done it live on camera, which is annoying. It's annoying that I did this, but whatever, you're getting my commentary. So this is one integrated whole, but some people will say that your body is your body, your soul is your character. This is the teaching of Jesus for sure. It's your character, it's your beliefs, it's your emotion. And then here's the discrepancy. Here's where people disagree. Some people will say you are a body and soul and spirit. And some people will say you are a body and soul, or a body and spirit. So some people will say it's and, or and, or. So you might have a body and spirit, or a body and soul. What I'm saying by this is the dichotomist, the twofold position, says when the Bible talks about soul or spirit, it's using them interchangeably. Other people will go, no, it's not using them interchangeably. But here's the big idea. Those who say that there's 3 aspects, the body, soul, and spirit, is this: they say that there is spiritual life that is available to human beings when they come to God in trust and say, Jesus, would you deal with the dark part of my soul, and would you give me spiritual life? Those are the dichotomous positions. Say you can have new spiritual life or new life in the soul if you come to Jesus and go, Jesus, would you just fix me? Just save me. Forgive me. I want in. So the soul, just to recap, the soul is not your body. So the body is the physical part of you. The soul is the immaterial part of you. It's the more important part of you. It includes, and again, I'm going to summarize and give you my thoughts. It includes your personality. It includes your emotions. Your soul includes your thoughts. Your soul includes your character, which you might just say behavior. Your soul includes, I would say this, your relationship to God. And part of what we're trying to do in this Strengthen Your Soul series is to go, give it all to Jesus. You may not yet have full faith in Him, but to go, I will trust you enough to see if you will strengthen my soul. If you will, I want more. His promise, the promise of Jesus, is if you trust me, if you unite to me, I'll do the whole work. So we're trying it bit by bit to see if it works. Again, whether you're inside of faith or outside of faith. So, what are we going to do with all that? The soul is your personality, your emotions, your thought, your character, your relationship to God. And I'll just put rationale aspect there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to actually try to take all of this and go, Jesus, God, universe, and just ask this simple question. What needs work? And we're going to think and pray. Often God speaks to us in our thoughts, in our emotions, in our personality, in our characteristic. I would actually say these are interrelated. They're all interwoven. But we're going to take 30 seconds and get ready. So I'm going to invite you to try. It's part of what we do every time. And just think and pray, and whatever thought bubbles up to your mind, just grab hold of it. What area of your soul needs work? What area of your soul needs work? So for me, character actually came up. And then the second part is this: what is my next step for greater character? And for me, what came up? So, next step related to this area. It's about patience with my kids. And so how do I do that? How do you take the next step? Those are your questions. I want you to ask those. Read with your boys and pray with them. That's what comes up for me. See, your soul is the most important. Your soul is the most important aspect of who you are. And that's why we do strengthen your soul. That's why we think and pray and ask God, what needs work? What's my next step? And how do I do it? With that being said, please like or comment or share. We're now on YouTube. You can subscribe so you don't have to miss a thing and you don't have to use Facebook. Please share this stuff if you want. If you don't want to, it's fine. But a lot of you have been doing that, and a lot of people are experiencing significant life change because of people like you who are helping. With that being said, I hope your soul's getting stronger. I hope you had an amazing Monday, and we'll see you tomorrow at 8. Have a good night.